Don't panic, people. Don't be scared of your sound. Here is the studiologic SL MIXFACE tied into a Sound Devices 888. Let's go back to the menu. And we're using an iPad with SD remote today. So I got this right out of the box. I used the cable that came with it to plug in. Obviously you could use a right angle cable that you buy or whatever. The cable's a USB-A to micro USB. And then the first thing you do is you go into Cubase. And then you'll find you have this nicely functional fader setup. Move the fader and it moves in the SD. Obviously there's no motor control here. There's no motor control here. So if you switch from one to the other, you're gonna go past the set point of this knob and then it captures it and takes it over. So really, if you're gonna run it live, you probably want to use the 9 through 16 for this and the 1 through 8 for this. Or, you know, if you're using only 1 through 8, you can pretty much do a lot of things on this panel. One of the things you can do is, what does this knob do? Well, you go up and you highlight the channel 1 and then you turn the channel 1 knob and your trim is the first thing that comes up. That's nice. Now if you go to this section, push what is the mute button, then when you hit this button down here, it drives the mute. See that little blue switch going? That's your mute position. You choose this button and that chooses your solo for that channel. Well, this button right here, it will take you to your system menu. Hit it twice, it goes back. And then you can use, once you're in your system menu, this encoder wheel to run your system menu. Right? Look at channel 9, and then press this one again, and it'll take you back out to your meter display. Now this row is pretty cool. I've recorded 3 tracks on here. So if I push play, it'll play the current track. That's nice. You push it again and it goes into pause. Now there's no actual stop, so if you want to get it out of this mode, you have to push the stop on the recorder. Here is a record button that actually works. Now I've got post-roll record, so when you stop it, you gotta stop it twice to give it that instant stop feel. I love post-roll. That's this combination of buttons. Now, since I've recorded 4 of those, I'm gonna use this return to choose which track I want to play back. I'm going to play back track 2. That's cool, right? I'm just going to go ahead and stop it here. All right, so what does this row do? This row, the first button, puts you on the false take. Very convenient, immediately go to your false take. Second button, you can write notes. That's this button right here. Third button, edit your take number. Fourth button is also notes. All right, this row, that's how I changed from engaging in Cubase to the setup screen. Got to be in Cubase to make it run. And then this screen is how, let me go back here. All right, you run fader 1. If you want to run the second bank, you hit that button and now you're running fader 9. It all runs off bus power. It's very easy. I had Amazon deliver me this lovely little clamp and gooseneck combo, which I'll leave a link in. You can find pretty cheap, both physically and operationally, but it gave me the ability to put this pad where I wanted it. So that's a pretty sweet little rig. This is $200 retail. So I left one knob off. This knob right here if you don't do anything special to it, it changes your headphone volume. If you push it in, you can choose which headphone preset you're using. When you get your MIXFACE, you're going to want to update it. That is, go to the studiologic webpage and download their app and update to the current firmware, because I'm told the Reaper works better, it's smoother, and you have to do both of these to get into the edit menu. You go down, my hand out of the way, to the global settings and the DAW and port type, and then down to type, and it lets you scroll through all the different ones. The default is Cubase, it works, but it's a little sluggish. Update your firmware, and then you put it on Reaper, and golly gee, it works pretty darn good. There you go. See, when you hit this thing, it's not talking to it, it is talking to it. All right. Another thing you're going to want to do is make sure that your 888, your 8 series, is updated to 9.20 to include the MIXFACE. And if you go to the controller section, and you go down to the third-party controllers, you can determine what your main fader is going to be doing. I have mine set to left, and left and right are joined. So your controller fader, the ninth fader, will actually control your master volume, which is nice.